Britain's canals. For more than 200 years, these canals have crossed the length and breadth of the nation, connecting major cities to the industrial heartlands. They were arteries of the Industrial Revolution. In our Words from the Waterways this morning, I'm going to be navigating the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, looking at the history of its people and drawing a parallel to the patron saint of boat people and navigators, St. Brendan. With breathtaking scenery and pioneering achievements, all this makes canals what they are today and makes the Leeds-Liverpool Canal a place on your bucket list. It's a nice day for a walk along the canal. What could be better than a day out on the waterway that is the Leeds-Liverpool Canal? It's part of Route 66 on the national cycle path. Get your kicks on Route 66, no less. We start where all good journeys start, at the beginning, the city centre of Leeds, walking out of the city centre and heading towards Liverpool. The canal has a long history attached to it, from its inception in the Sun Inn in Bradford on the 2nd of July 1766 and right up to the present day. The canal courses over a distance of 127 miles. It crosses the Pennines and it includes 91 locks. It was officially opened in 1816, having taken 46 years to complete. The Leeds-Liverpool Canal is the longest canal in Britain, the longest continuous canal in Britain, built as a single waterway. It was so vital to the manufacturing industries of the north. There was a great demand for two important commodities, coal and limestone. Coal to fuel industrial processes and later steam engines as they became the source of power in the mills, and limestone needed as a building material and for use as a fertiliser. The fertiliser improved the grassland and thus was able to support more sheep, which increased the production of wool. These two commodities saw millions of tons per year being delivered to Liverpool by the 1860s. The canal continued to carry large tonnages well into the 1950s, but then other forms of haulage saw its use decreased. The impact of the railway age and the coming of the lorry finally saw commercial traffic on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal dwindling to a trickle. Through the later part of the 20th century, the leisure potential of the canal began to be appreciated, and boatyards and marinas and boat hire companies have developed along the canal, giving it a brand new lease of life. The heyday of the canal was hand in glove with the Industrial Revolution, and the backbone to the success of the canal were its navigators, boatmen and boatwomen. Whole families lived aboard the canal boats and barges. In the early 1800s, boatmen and boatwomen had a hard life, with basic amenities and little or no schooling for the children. There was also the constant threat of trouble from the locals on the canal route, who encountered boatmen and women in the local pubs and drinking taverns, which often turned to violence. Other forms of crime were widely reported among canal navigators, boatmen and women by the citywide papers in Leeds and in Liverpool. In response to this, the local churches along the canal route put a plan into action. There was a regional call for canal missionaries to work and live on the canal. Canal missionaries made an important contribution to the social and moral welfare of this floating population. There was foundation of many a canal and boatman's mission. This work began to appear towards the end of the 1820s and continued as long as there was a need. They were to be found in a variety of locations, from sail lofts, engine houses, converted barges, to more commodious red brick mission halls and tin tabernacles. They provided not only an accessible and welcoming place of worship, but also schools, recreation facilities, various charitable services, and even in some cases, medical help. The work of the canal missionaries were instrumental in caring for a ragtag company of hard-working outcasts, navigators and boatmen. Interestingly, the role of these missions extended far beyond the souls they sought to save. These missions supplied tea, coffee, papers, food, tobacco, washing facilities, games, education, and even free letter writing. Many of the boatmen couldn't read or write. In fact, they seemed to do everything they could to keep the boatmen out of the nearby pubs and thus out of trouble. Someone else who was dedicated to a life as a navigator and boatman and is known as the patron of navigators and boatmen is St. Brendan, also known as the Navigator. He was the original Irish navvy. Originally an Irish priest and one of 12 apostles of Ireland, who, according to legend, on the Kerry coast, Brendan built a small boat of wattle, covered it with hides, tanned in oak bark and softened with butter. He set up a mast and a sail and filled it with important commodities for sustenance. He and a small group of monks fasted for 40 days, and after a prayer on the shore, he embarked in the name of the Most High and Holy Trinity. Legend has it that Brendan discovered America 10 centuries before Christopher Columbus. Reports of his expeditions would take the breath away of even the most hardened adventurers and mariners. He apparently discovered the promised land of the saints, where he arrived after a 7-year voyage of adventure. He was a hardened boatman and a navigator, so it's no wonder that he ended up becoming the patron saint of navigators, boatmen and mariners the world through. The prayer of the navigator. Help me to journey beyond the familiar and into the unknown. Give me faith to leave the old ways and break fresh ground with you. Christ of the mysteries, I trust you to be stronger than each storm I face. I will believe you for my future, chapter by chapter, until the story is written. Teach me to live with eternity in view. Tune my spirit to the music of heaven. Feed me and somehow make my obedience count for you. In the name of Christ. Amen.